The next thing we'll look at is template literals, which we've already been using in the code, but there's more to talk about here. When I first started programming about 10 years ago, jQuery was the cool thing in JavaScript, kind of like React is today. But unfortunately, it didn't have all of the awesome things that we have in JavaScript now. For example, you would see a lot of string concatenation that looks like this, where you have a variable plus a string, and you have to manage the spaces in between, plus an expression, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. This type of code is incredibly annoying to deal with, but template literals in modern JavaScript solve this problem completely. Instead of concatenating values together, we can actually interpolate them directly into the string. You can do this by defining your string with backticks, and then use $ brackets, and then whatever variable or expression you want inside of there. So we'll go ahead and grab the properties we need with object destructuring that we learned just a minute ago, and then we'll interpolate those into the string itself, which is a lot more readable and a lot easier to maintain. But you can actually take things a step further and build strings in a purely functional way. So we'll write a function here called horseAge that takes an array of strings as the first argument, and then can take whatever other arguments it wants after that. We can look at the arguments to this function and use them to compose a string. So here we're going to look at the age of the animal, and if it's older than 5, we'll say it's old, otherwise we'll say it's young. And the last thing we'll do is return the actual value of the string. That's a pretty standard looking function, but the interesting thing here is that instead of passing a regular argument to this function, we can actually just attach it to a template literal, and it will parse the arguments in it. This might seem kind of weird at first, but instead of doing parentheses with the arguments, we'll just attach our template literal, and it will parse all of the string segments as an array of strings as the first argument to the function that we defined. Then it will handle all of the other arguments in the order in which they appear inside of the $ brackets. In other words, you can take a single argument and use it to compose multiple values in the return string. This can be a very powerful concept for templating, and it's actually used in the Polymer project now via a library called lit.html.